Jump. Jump. Oh, too far. Squish.
Salutations, friends! It's me, Snowy, but you can call me the Lord of Winter. Before we get started, I want to give a big snowy shout out to Eva Carrier. Not only did she become my first patron, she dove right into the winter tier. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you're like me, you've come across depictions of militaries, soldiers, and whatnot in fiction that have felt out of place or poorly fleshed out. Well, I served 8 years in the United States Navy, and I'm here to share some of my thoughts on the subject. But first, let me switch hats. There we go. Before we get started, this is only meant to help you flesh out your militaries. By no means is this the only way militaries can be developed. Not all stories should look the same, nor do they always need to reflect their real-world counterparts. It is fiction, after all. But if you're looking for inspiration or knowledge, this is a good place to start. Many militaries have separate ranks for officers and enlisted. Officers are the ones in charge. They're charged with keeping order, ensuring the military machine runs smoothly, and taking care of those under their command. Enlisted comprise most of the military personnel and are ranked lower than officers. They perform most of the day-to-day tasks, such as maintenance and upkeep, and serve on the front lines in most combat scenarios. Now, if your military does have such a distinction, what kind of relationship exists between the officers and enlisted? Is there a mutual respect? Are the officers generally competent or inept? If there isn't a separation of ranks, who leads? Is there any other path for advancement? Is there a different type of hierarchy that replaces an officer system? These are all things to consider when crafting your fictional military. Is your story's military a monolith? Or are there separate branches, such as a Navy, an Army, and, if applicable, an Air Force? If so, how are each of the branches commanded? Is there one unified command? Or does each branch have its own separate leaders? Is there a strong cohesion amongst the branches? Or are they constantly competing with each other? Are the ranks different between the branches? For example, in the United States, the Navy has a separate rank structure than the Army or Air Force. If you want to check out the ranks, check out the links in the description below. How does one join your world's military? Conscription? Volunteer? Or is it a mix? Is there a severe selection process, or are candidates weeded out during the training pipeline? How is the process the same or different for officers and enlisted? Are there special schools where officers go? For example, in the United States military, there are 3 primary methods of becoming an officer. You have the military academies, which are special colleges designed to educate and train for military careers. You have the Reserve Officer Training Corps, or ROTC, where selected colleges offer a side program in addition to their regular curriculum to train officers. And lastly, there's Officer Candidate School, in which individuals who already have a bachelor's degree can attend a several-week-long program to prepare them for the military. Have fun with it! Don't be afraid to mix and invent ways to put your own special twist on it. If there is no war, what occupies your story's soldiers? Do they return to their civilian lives? Are they stationed somewhere in your fictional nation? If the military personnel do stay in service, what kind of process is there to keep them trained? Some example of methods to stay trained could include large-scale exercises, inspections, and physical fitness tests. In the United States military, there are both ranks and billets. Ranks are what you often see in the media, such as lieutenant, captain, general, etc. It denotes one's standing in the military hierarchy. Billets, on the other stick, are one's position. For example, the man in charge of my submarine was ranked as a Navy commander, but his billet was of submarine captain, which can get confusing because captain is also a rank. Billets can also factor into the hierarchy, however. For example, the navigator in a submarine is usually a lieutenant, but many of the junior officers are also lieutenants. But since the navigator has a higher billet, they technically outrank those junior officers who have the same rank as them. It can get a little muddled, I know. That's why I'm here. There's a lot more that can be crafted to truly create a fleshed out military, but these are a good starting point. What kind of characteristics do you include in your story's military? What questions do you have? Comment below and I'll do my best to answer. Next week, I'll be discussing plotting and pantsing as approaches to writing your novel. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more of my work, you can carefully tap on that subscribe button. You can find me on Twitter at RMHWinter, and my Patreon is shown here. I'll see you all next time. This is the Lord of Winter, signing off.